Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me on another episode of Love Code on YouTube. Today, by popular demand, I'm going to do a video about handling finances in marriage. And thank you very much for always watching my videos. If today is the first time you're watching any of my videos, thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe to the channel so that you know when I have a new video out going forward. So like I said, let's talk about handling finances in marriage. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the fact that money is one of the biggest factors in divorce, and this is proven universally. Money is one of the biggest reasons why people get divorced. And I mean, recently I was reading a story about someone who made a lot of money in a lottery, won millions of dollars, and then applied to divorce her partner. and you know what happened at the end of the day was that the court eventually ruled that all of the money should be given to the partner. And it was a very interesting story, because I think they said that she was married at the time that she won the money, so technically the money still belonged to the person that she was legally married to. And it was a very interesting story. That just tells to show that the way people think about their marriage changes when money is involved. And you would not really know the real you and your tendencies and what you will do until a certain amount of money gets into your hand, until money comes into your hand, and things that have never occurred to you before start to occur to you. That's when you will know whether or not you're really in love with your partner, whether or not you are actually committed to your marriage vows. Okay, so money is a big deal. So that's why we have to talk about it. Now, the approach here is to try to be as selfless as possible. If you are not going to be selfless in your marriage, this will not work. This is not for people who still want their individuality, as it were, right? Who want to keep hold of this is me. I have to maintain my individuality in this marriage. And I know there's a lot of material out there where that is what people are talking about these days and people are championing. But marriage is not about individuality. Marriage is about two people becoming one. That's what a Christian marriage is all about. So we're talking about finances from this perspective. Okay, and why are we saying this? Because Jesus did say that faithfulness in money, right, is the first test of true faithfulness, right? And he said it this way, that if you are not faithful in unrighteous mammon, right? I'm paraphrasing now, okay? Who will give you the true riches? So the unrighteous mammon, which is money now, is basically the starting point of faithfulness. So in other words, faithfulness in marriage begins with faithfulness in finances. Just like Jesus said that faithfulness in money is the beginning of faithfulness in any other thing. You cannot say that you love God if you are not faithful to Him with your money. If you can't give to the kingdom, if you can't do all of that. So in the same way, in marriage, if you cannot be faithful financially, you can't be faithful to your marriage vows. That's what it means. Okay, so it's very, this is all in one box here. There's no separating it. You can't say I'm faithful to my spouse, I don't cheat on my spouse, blah blah blah. But in terms of money now, there is still a secret place in your heart when it comes to money. The money is the beginning of faithfulness. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you are faithful in money, you have passed the first test of faithfulness in marriage, right? So we need to keep that in perspective. That and when we talk about faithfulness with money, we are saying you don't have anything to hide. You are not trying to live a separate life. You are not trying to live a life that is different from what your spouse knows. You are not trying to keep disposable income, right? It's in some place where, and this is one thing that my pastor in Nigeria used to talk about a lot, about the fact that men get in trouble when they have a lot of disposable income. When there's a lot of money that they can use, just to do anything that they like, and their spouse doesn't know about it, you will get into trouble. You will get into trouble, because money is a spirit. Money is a spirit, and it is not something that you want to toy with, right? This is so critical, because when you have money that you can throw around, is when the devil begins to suggest things to you, where different things start to come your way, and if your heart is not in the right place, you will misbehave. So it is very important, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes, because that thing in a guy just wants to go out there, have your own money and do what you want to do, and just do your own thing, and just be able to buy whatever you want at any time. But there is also the aspect of accountability in this thing, where you have to be accountable. Otherwise, the devil will take advantage of you. All right. So this is extremely, extremely important. Now, you have to be open about finances. It is one of the easiest ways to build trust in marriage. Openness in finances is one of the easiest ways to build trust in marriage. We've been talking about that over the last couple of weeks, about this issue of openness and honesty and building trust. If your partner still feels like you are hiding things when it comes to money, it's very difficult to trust you with other things. It is very, very difficult. If the money comes in and you cannot let go of it, you can't just relinquish your right to hold on to money for the sake of your marriage and your family. It's almost as though you don't really have the interest of your family at heart. You might say it with your mouth, but it's when money comes in that you know that you could use personally, but you let it go because of your family, and you do it consistently over and over again. It's not just a one-time thing. It's about the last time, wasn't I the one? That's not the issue. The issue is that every single time, this is something that you have to do repeatedly. That is the sacrifice that marriage demands. That's the price. That's the thing that marriage demands. So we have to get away from this individual mindset, right? This concept of individuality, and try to work together. Try to work together in marriage. Do we want to have a joint account? What are the pros and cons of having a joint account? Talk about that. If you are not comfortable with it, honestly say it to your spouse. I'm not comfortable with having. That means you are not there yet, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you are bad, or that something is wrong with you. That's not the point. Is to be honest and to be open. To say, okay, I'm not yet there, but this is what I can do. I can give a percentage. We say, okay, this is how much. But the starting point is, don't hide how much you are making from the spouse. There's no reason to do that. Your partner is this is your life partner. He or she needs to know, this is how much we are making. Put it on the table. Okay, say, well, this is the family budget, right? How much of this, as the head of the family now, as the man, we're talking biblically here now, okay? Because we always have to put disclaimers and all these things now. Is how much I'm making, and this, as you as the head of the family, this is the percentage that you will bring, and you contribute that. Me as the wife, this is the percentage I will bring. Some men don't even want their wives to work because they earn more than enough, and that's okay. So if you're earning enough to take care of your family budget, fantastic. More grace to you. I'm happy for you. I want to be in your shoes. Okay? So do that, and just give her, the portion of it that you want. But let her know how much you make. Let her know. That is one of that's one of the signs of you're being honest. You're being open, because that thing called money is one thing the devil wants you to hold on to, so that you can just do things and you will never have to tell your partner, which is against the principles of togetherness and oneness in marriage. So don't put yourself in that trap. Let her know, right? So that someone comes and says, my husband, your husband did this or did that, she knows that, this man, this is how much he makes. How would he be able to do that? So you need to think about it in that you are putting a safeguard in your own marriage. It's not just about you living your life or being happy. All right. So this is extremely very, very important here. And then avoid setting unrealistic expectations about money. This is one other trap that men fall into when they start to date a lady. They don't tell them their real financial situation. They will not say, right? They want to put a front up there and show that they are something they are not. So they start to do things that they can't afford to do. They go out of their way, just try to build up. You are putting yourself under pressure, because there's going to be a time when you have to get married. The marriage will need to be funded. You can't carry the whole burden yourself, right? Except if that is the real picture. If you are a millionaire and you can afford to do everything, then that's fine, right? But don't paint a wrong picture, and don't set unrealistic expectations. There are things now that if my wife's birthday is coming up, or our wedding anniversary, there's some things my wife cannot expect at this stage where we are now. She can't expect that I will buy her, a private jet, for instance, because that is beyond the realms of possibility, naturally speaking, right now, where we are right now. It doesn't mean that in the near future that I can't do that, but as of today, because she knows how much I make. So it keeps our expectations, realistic. It keeps it within, a certain range where she knows that, okay, at least realistically, these are the things that my husband can, because we work on this together. We do our financial things together. She knows how much I make. I know how much she makes. We work everything out together. We have a joint account that we work with, and some of these things I've explained previously about how we do ours. So you don't have to do it the way we do our own thing, but the part of it that you cannot afford is to be secretive about finances in marriage. Okay, that is a trap. It's a trap that the enemy makes Christian people fall into, especially men, especially Christian men. That's one trap. And there are some women that are even more secretive about their own finances. So I'm not just talking to guys, okay? It's about you guys coming together. Marriage calls for selflessness with money. Marriage calls for selflessness with money. Money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. If you love money too much, you will do things you're not supposed to do. If you want to hold on to money too much, there are certain temptations that you will not be able to withstand. So this is food for thought for today. Something that you should talk about with your spouse. Think about it, and just talk things over, and think about it in your own private moments. Think about, does money still have a hold on you? Right? Do you see money as something to grab and hold on to, can everything and sit on the can, or are you liberal with money? Is it something that you see, like the Bible says, there's he that withholds and still ends up poor, but there's the person that is liberal and is abounding, right? And that's how God wants us to be, especially in our marriage. Don't forget the premise that we started with: faithfulness in marriage begins with faithfulness in finances, and that is based on what Jesus said about the unrighteous mammon. All right, so I'm going to stop here today. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I'm always open to your questions, comments, and feedback on the channel and on some of the things that we talked about. Thank you once again. Like the video if you do, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you know when I have a new video out. I usually have new videos out on Sundays at 6 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Time. I have a new video out every week on the channel at that time. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you again next week. God bless you.